good. Thank you, Genevieve, for dancing with me. Everyone else who has their cameras on. I have a feeling that when Genevieve and I meet in person, all we're going to do is dance the night away, and it is going to be absolutely fantastic. Feeling all that feminescence coming and rising, and dance and somatic movement are some of my absolute favorite things. Ooh, just I love starting the day with some dance and moving and getting into that feminine flow. Lovely. All right. So we are almost all done with Quantum Maxima. We are on the last stretch. And holy crap, how incredible these last 3 days have been. Thank you, everyone who has been on the live. Thank you, everyone, for all your patience with me and these crazy tech difficulties and all the craziness that we've been experiencing over the last couple of days. I thank you. I salute you. I honor all of you. You've been experiencing over the last 3 days a snippet of what is going to be inside Xpansion Alchemy. I am so honored and so blessed every single day to have invited these people into my energy where they can help each one of you grow and expand and learn. And it's not only me, the new earth is coming together and we are all rising, co-creating, collaborating together. It's not the Ania show. It's not the Genevieve show. It's not the Nathan show. It's not the David show. It's not the Kate show. No, we are all coming together and rising together because that's what the new earth is asking us to do. Me as a new earth leader, I am taking the reins for this and I am guiding you with an open heart, with my full love and supporting you. With that, I am bringing you all of these teachers as well. I want to quickly run over, excuse me. I want to quickly run over a couple of things in Xpansion Alchemy, as well as lead you through the back portal of the actual community, because we do have a community where, let me see, where did I put this? You guys should be able to see my screen. Let me double check. My Facebook doesn't work, so I can't double check. So you should be able to see the screen. Xpansion Alchemy, we've talked about it for 3 days now, what it is, a beautiful divine alchemy school in the realms of spirituality, personal development, health, relationships, and business. All of these teachers will be coming on once a month and doing a live, deep masterclass. You only got little snippets of it over the last 3 days, but this is really, we're really going to be diving in over the next 6 months, 9 months, 12 months, so that you can start fully expanding and start implementing all of this stuff. These are going to be masterminds. They're going to be workshops. They're going to be like full hands-on classes from 15 teachers. Again, not only myself, but all of these 15 teachers that you've had over the last 3 days, where we collaborate, co-create, and expand together. We do have an actual app. There's a community. I'm going to deep dive into the app in just a second, but this is for the person who is ready to fully expand. You have all of the teachers on the website. Again, whoever invited you to Quantum Maxima, go back, get their links, and sign up for Xpansion Alchemy. It is a fraction of the price of what all of us teach. Like, it is mind-blowing to me how much we are charging for this, because I charge way more for that in my fees alone. I know all of my other speakers cost way more than that as well. Fraction of the price. So it is time for you to expand and have an arsenal of teachers. If you are sick and tired of paying coaches on coaches on coaches, and you're not getting the support and the hand-holding and the accountability and the love from each of those coaches, because you're like, oh, this is such a big program and I'm not even getting one-on-one time with the coach. Well, this is Xpansion Alchemy does exact opposite of that. We will all hold you. We will all be there. It is your one-stop shop. So you don't have to look for other coaches. You don't have to look for other mentors. You don't have to look for other healers. Because I have 5 pillars: personal development, health, spirituality, relationships, and business. You get snippets of each of those in Xpansion Alchemy, bringing you the whole plethora of knowledge expansion in all forms. You get multiple classes, 15 classes a month, and we will be adding on more teachers eventually as well. We all collaborate, co-create. $55, you guys. Like, just try this out. You will not be disappointed. This price does go up in 6 days. 11/11. I'm all about the beautiful synchronized numbers. So on 11/11/22, we will be raising the price. You'll never see this price this low again. Even when we relaunch in March, you will not see this price this low. Couple of things, and I will be sending out an email with all of this. So a couple of questions that might have come up for you is, one, do you accept credit cards? Yes, we do obviously accept credit cards. There's multiple different payment options. What happens if I cancel my membership? Your membership is active as long as you stay active and keep paying your membership. We have two different options. There's a monthly membership fee or a yearly membership fee. The monthly right now is $55 until 11/11. The yearly is $555 up until 11/11. With the yearly, you get 2 months free. What's included? You get access to all of us. One live masterclass. The entire thing when Xpansion Alchemy came to me, was like, I don't want this to be a YouTube, because there's already so many YouTubes out there. YouTube similar, where we all just like upload all of our content. Here you go, have fun. No, these are live interactive masterminds, master classes, workshops, integration sessions. We'll be doing deep breathwork sessions, deep hypno sessions, deep diving into your own epigenetics and fully rocking so we can become that spiritual badass, how we were talking about yesterday. How often do you have contact with me? I will be doing a live masterclass once a month inside Xpansion Alchemy, similar to the other teachers. I might pop in there. I will be inside the community as much as possible. I will be doing one live masterclass. V2, which is down the lines, I will be opening up like a VIP Xpansion Alchemy, which will do some one-on-one, which will include some one-on-one coaching as well. We'll also be rolling out a podcast. We'll be rolling out a YouTube channel as well, but that's to come. Like, I'm focused on this right now. Where are the calls hosted? They will be on Zoom. All of them will be on Zoom, and then they'll be uploaded into the community. So if you miss any of them live, that is okay. All of our calls will be taking place at noon and 7 p.m. Central Time. I say noon and 7 p.m. because we have people all over the world. Not only are the teachers all over the world, but the actual students will be all over the world as well. So the noon times is for the US times, and then the 7 p.m. slots are for people on like Indonesia, Bali, New Zealand, Australia. All of those people will have the 7 p.m. slots. Those are Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. Everything else will be uploaded into the community, and you can watch the replays whenever. Speaking of the community, please tell me you see this screen still, the community, the band. Yes? All right, fantastic. So this is the backend community. We have already posting stuff in here. Here's one of our first students. Yay, congratulations, Andrea. She's in here. I explained from all the teachers. And then in here, each of the teachers does have an actual album. So whatever they'll be teaching will be inside their album. It will be coordinated so you can see what everyone is teaching, what everyone is serving, how everyone is doing whatever they're doing. And then we have a calendar in here. So in the calendar, you can click on the calendar and see what the teacher will be. The Zoom links are on here. And then what the master classes will be about. For example, Linda is teaching November 9th. Here's what she'll be teaching about. Here is your Zoom link for you to get on. Same with Christina. Here is her first master class in November, and then so on and so forth. All of the slots, again, these are noon Central or 7 p.m. It tells you once you click on each of the teachers, it tells you what slot they're in. So you can stay up to date. There will be inside this community, there's an app for it as well. You could just download it on your phone and get into it on the app if you really want to, or you can do it on the portal. One thing to let you guys know, if you do it on the website, I'm in Colombia right now, and this did not work for me. I had to open it up with a VPN. So If you're in another country outside of the US, this might not work for you. Christina's in Latvia and it works for her without a problem. So certain countries do have some restrictions. So just use a VPN and you can get on the backend portal. And then all of the attachments, you can see all of the members. We have a chat in here as well where we're talking. We'll do group calls, we'll do group chats, all the fun stuff, everything is in here. So if you are ready to be guided into your own expansion where we come together, grow, and really expand, then Xpansion Alchemy is for you. It is time. Band works in Sweden too. Amazing. Thank you, Kaz. Yes, that's all. Please join us for Xpansion Alchemy. Prices are open until 11/11. And then I am doing that giveaway still. The giveaway ends today. So it is 4 o'clock by me right now. By 9 p.m., 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 5 hours. You have 5 hours to leave your testimonials inside the Xpansion Alchemy Facebook group. I saw people post on the Facebook page. No, inside the big Facebook group. And I will drop the link right here for you right now. In case you need it. Where is groups? It's just facebook.com/groups/Xpansion Alchemy, and that's expansion with an X. All right, let's move on to questions. If you guys have any new questions, please pop them into the chat and we will get all of them answered. So let's pull up all the ones that we had thus far. The first question I have is for Claire. I believe Claire is still on. Yes, she did pop back in. Claire, what made you wall away from helping people with sharing their story on social media?
Ooh, big question. The truth is that I realized how, and this really resonates with what you were saying. I think those of us who are new Earth leaders, we didn't find that, it found us. And I believe that when I experienced what I did with my dog last year, and I had that period of just stopping and connecting to myself, I realized what I was doing was not fulfilling. I wasn't working with people who had a deep intention to heal. What I was working with was people who had sort of this surface level desire to get more visible and, make some more money. And, there's nothing wrong with that. But if we are going to transform, on this deep level and really, change the way that the world is right now and heal, we have to heal inside. And so by walking away from my business and really not having any clue what I was going to walk towards, just this feeling, it was always just this feeling. I knew I was going in the right direction, and I knew that I could trust that everything was going to come together. Yeah. And so I walked away to find fulfillment and have more impact and answer this raging call of my soul goal to be doing something that felt more important and more aligned.
Beautiful. It's always so beautiful when we connect to our hearts and really find what our true purposes are and what our true reasons for being on this earth are. And we walk that walk, talk that talk, and you are doing just that, girl. So I honor you for that and thank you for all of that. This growth is beautiful. For anyone who is on live and you have questions, feel free to raise your hand and ask the people the actual questions. Instead of just typing them in for me, feel free to raise your hand and come on camera and ask the questions as well. Next question I have is for Kate. I'm overwhelmed. I have so much to do, but I want to be productive AF. Where do I begin?
Yeah, that's a thematic, isn't it? So I think that the number one thing that I use the 3 S's because I believe that if we can make things really simple and just be like, oh, one word, for me, that really helps. And like, for example, I have Post-it notes. I'm just one of those people. And just to preface it by saying I have super ADHD. So the fact that I actually teach productivity is super funny. Right? I mean, come on, that's insane. Because what that says is that I had to overcome this limiting beliefs that ADHD can't get anything done and can't focus, which is actually now the neuroscience is showing is false. We can process a lot, us creatives or ADHDers. It's just more of a process of discernment on what goes on the out. So it's nice to know that there's nothing wrong with us. We just are brilliant at taking in information. So on that note, a really great way to deal with overwhelm is 3 S's. And the first one is S, is the start. So oftentimes we're just in that overwhelmed feeling. What is the one thing that we want to start? Just focus on one thing. Like every single day I'll write my journal. Katie, you need to drink more water. Katie, you need to drink more water. And I'll keep going. Yeah, I got to keep writing then. Or I can just start drinking water. And so I just have to get that commitment that I will begin. The second thing is to simplify. That's your second S. Sometimes we make these really convoluted plans to get someplace, or we're thinking, I can't do it because fear gets in the way because we put it as too complex of a step. One of the great fears in the courage module is fear of it's going to be too hard, right? We fear the fact that things are going to be too hard. Number one way to deal with that is to simplify. And that is, for me, it's like I have a small glass of water and I say I need to drink 8 of those. So I'm just giving an example of that because that's my issue. I have a problem hydrating, and I'm a health person. So, and that's just that last one. The third one, which I believe is important, and I can't drill this in enough. Oftentimes we're in overwhelm, we're sad, we're feeling distressed, is serve. Get on the phone, give someone an audio text and say, hey, sweetheart, I was just thinking about you. I just want to let you know you're awesome. And I'm so glad, and I can't wait to see you for lunch next week. Hey, mom, how you doing? I'm just grateful. Do things for people. It is the number one way to get yourself out of overwhelm. So it's start, simplify your steps, and serve. We are here as service leaders, all of us in this group here. So the number one way we can fulfill that is to serve even when we're in distress. And that's my solution. But I would love to hear anyone else's. I hope that was of value.
That was so much of value, Kate. Thank you. I love those. Yeah. I always say, be in service, even if it is your friend, someone walking down the street, opening up the door for someone. It doesn't have to be these grand gestures. Just tune back into your heart, be a good person, be of service. Wake up every morning and say, how can I be of service? Universe, how do you want me to act today? How do you want me to be of service to others? Because it's not about you anymore. We are all stepping into this new role where it's testing us. It's pushing our boundaries. It's asking us to do things that are uncomfortable, that we haven't done in a very long time. How can we be in a service? How can we help others and inspire others and impact others? So good. All right, next question, Genevieve, for you. You've talked about epigenetics in your relationship. How else has epigenetics helped you?
Oh, like every part of my life. What it does, when I understand speaking specifically about understanding my epigenetic wiring, and also now, I understand other people's epigenetic wiring as well. So I can see how we all function. So from just purely from a health and wellness perspective, understanding my own natural biorhythm. So the way that I should set up my day, the way when I should wake up, how I should set the flow of my day. Some people I'm gonna totally be projecting here, Kate. and I'm gonna say, I would say Kate is 100% no, not 100%. No one's 100% anything, but she's very dominant in as an activator. And so very high levels of ACTH, adrenaline, testosterone. So for her, getting up early in the morning and doing stuff and moving and getting active and going straight in, diving into the day is probably an awesome idea. For me, it's don't talk to me before 10. But my partner calls me a steam train. So it's which I'm taking as a compliment Because if I start slowly and give myself time to lead into the day and have the opportunity to like reflect and just be present with it and be in appreciation and gratitude and enjoyment, like find pleasure in the early part of the day, then I can go forever. So in terms of productivity, yeah, I can dance the night away. So in terms of productivity and bringing that into my workspace, you know, that was really tricky because the conventional model is, you know, you get up and you get up, you smash out, you know, you work out like a functional person, like gets up, they do their workout, then they eat some food, and then they get ready for work, and then they go to work, and then they do this, and then they get really productive, and blah 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 blah, and then they're finished by, you know, whatever. And for me, it's like I would actually just end up tired. I did CrossFit for 8 years at 5:30 in the morning, multiple times a week. Like I was committed. I was so committed, and it drilled me into a hole. And when I learned, I was like, actually, my best time to train is between 3 and 5 in the afternoon. So when I stopped drilling myself at that time because it just doesn't suit my individual system, and gave myself time in the morning to just be at ease and in enjoyment, not only did I actually get stronger and did I actually get fitter, but I also was clearer. I was less prone to depression. I had more energy and vitality. Like, so my general health went up. I was less likely to get sick. So there's just these really simple things that if we just realign to our own unique epigenetic genius, that our work is affected, our relationships are affected, our health and our wellness, our mental health is affected in a really positive way. And it's so super simple. It is so powerful, Claire. Like it's so, knowing this. And actually I ran into a woman the other day. She was living out of her van. I was going for a walk and I was in a bit of, I was just processing some stuff. So I went to the ocean and I walked past her on the way to the ocean, and I kind of sort of registered her a little bit, but it wasn't until I came back after spending some time just looking out at the ocean and just coming back into my own center that then I just stopped. And it was one of those service moments. I just felt, okay, I'm just going to stop and talk to this woman. And I said, you know, hey, how you going? And she basically burst into tears, and I ended up like, do you want a hug? So I gave her a hug. And we started chatting, and she was in incredible distress. She actually divulged that, you know, the only reason she was alive was because of her rats in her van. And other than that, she was about to, you know, she had no other reason for living. And she ended up telling me this. I do that. People tell me their big stories. So I ended up getting this incredible like life story from this woman. And I was just listening to her, and I was looking at her because I was scanning her physical body going, what's going on here? And I actually had, I had one sort of, I ended up just giving her, and this normally costs $250. I gave her the profile, and we sat literally on the street, and I did her profile on the street, and we're measuring on the street, and people are stopping as they're walking past. What are you doing? And taking photos of her. And then I read the back end of her profile, and I was like, I just started reading like little bits out of her mind section. I was like, oh, you may tend towards, I can't even remember, but you may tend towards this. You may tend to be able to change your mind in a moment's notice. I just read these really simple things out of the back of her profile, and she just burst into tears again. And she's like, I was like, yeah, it's you're not crazy. It's just how you're wired. Like there's nothing wrong with you. And so she ended up sort of saying, you know, why are you doing this? And exactly the same thing that we've all been speaking about, because I can, and because the world needs this. And one day you're not going to kill yourself. You're going to turn around and you're going to pass this on. So having access to this information gives me so much capacity and compassion because things become non-personal, and I can then reach to people at a whole new level and change their lives literally on the street in a moment.
Beautiful. Yeah, I'm also one of those people where people down the street tell me their life story. What is going on? Like, I didn't need to know that, but thank you. Thank you for that. Yeah, epigenetics, like I was saying in Gene Codes, I highly recommend everyone read this book. I'm working through it. It's a hefty book, but you are literally wired like this, and understanding that, you'll understand why you make certain decisions, why certain things come up for you, why you like certain things and don't like certain things. That is literally how your body, your DNA is made up, and it is incredible. Okay, next question is for Nathan. Are you on? You sent me a message earlier that you're grabbing some coffee. Are you available? Yes, you are.
Yeah.
All right. How can one become more embodied in the heart, leading to expansion through the quantum?
Good question. So when it comes from like embodiment, right, I think there's two parts to this. Embodiment defined, I would say, is to make something unconscious, right? Because you can be embodied in a lot of great ways, and you can be really embodied in a lot of bad ways, depending how that's expressed, right? That's how we form addictions. It's how we start becoming addicted to chaos. We start seeing things in that nature. So I want to make that very clear first. So to come from what I call chaos to coherence, and it's actually a whole module I teach, it is really the 5 elements of heart broken down to the acronym to become honest with yourself, to have empathy for yourself, to accept all parts of yourself, to take radical fucking ownership in the places that you're avoiding, and to be fully transparent with yourself and others around you, which leaves really no space to be inauthentic. It leaves no space to show up in ways that is outside of heart coherence. And it's really getting clear on that. And it's coming to terms with where we're not operating from our heart, where we're not honest, empathic, accepting, responsible, and or transparent. And that is the model we can use for inquiry. Everything I talk about is about inquiry and self-realization, and to realize where we're out of coherence, where we're out of alignment. And that is what brings us back into an alignment. And with practice and persistence and overall commitment, we can come back into an embodied state that we feel as though we are designed to be, so we can be fully expressed in the world.
I love your heart acronym. That was the first time I've heard that, and I love it. Yes, be authentically you. Lead from the ego. So it was funny, I had this conversation with someone the other day, and they were telling me, like, how do I lead from the heart versus the ego? I was like, first thing that you need to do is sit up straight. Because when you sit up straight, you pull your shoulders back, you open up your heart, you expand your heart, and then you have no choice but to lead with your heart. You're leading with your heart where your ego is found in your back. So don't slouch down, like, because that is your ego. You're coming from an ego. Open yourself up, and then you're leading with your heart. And be authentically fucking you. Yes. Okay, next question is for Claire. You've had some roadblocks along the way, and what were some of your biggest learning experiences from when you had to build back up from scratch?
I love that somebody's asked this question, because it goes back to that trust piece, right? It's interesting when Kate was on, and her first S was start. Like, I'm actually completely the opposite from this year. The first thing I know is to stop. Like that feeling of struggle or overwhelm or resistance, or this is too hard. Like, it is a sign we're on a level up, aren't we? We are on the precipice of something new, something greater than where we are right now. And I got there, like, in this growing of this new business, I got so frustrated. I got to this point where I literally could feel it on the inside, couldn't put it on words on the outside, was spending thousands of dollars on coaches. None of them could help me either. I was like banging my head against a brick wall going, fuck. And my vibration must have been low because I got COVID. And then I was like, double fuck, And COVID brought me to my knees. Like, I literally could not do anything for 5 days. I'm a mother of 3. My husband had to take over the whole ship. I could not move. I was in so much pain. I got mastitis as well at the same time. So I'm in bed and I'm in pain. I literally had to do nothing at all. I couldn't even do breath work because I could just see black. There was nothing, no colors, nothing. And I couldn't breathe. So I'm like lying there, and I just finally dissolved like the caterpillar in the thing that it goes into. When it turns into a butterfly, I was the absolute slop for 5 days, and the most beautiful magic happened. Like the creation that came out of the awakening of COVID was huge. Everything came together all by itself. I understood why I had a massive lump in my breast and why I was in agony, because I was so blocked. Like I was literally physically, emotionally blocked. I wasn't letting any of that grief out, you know, from what had happened. And I was holding on to this unworthiness about stepping forward. And this all came together for me. I had all of this, you know, awakening and realization without doing anything at all. And so the biggest learning was to stop. When you feel the struggle, when you feel all of it, just stop and allow and trust that everything is working out perfectly as it should. Like I just posted a TikTok actually on that, because that's my mantra now. Everything is exactly perfectly as it should be, you know. And that was the biggest learning, that if you're on that journey of change, of a shift, of a transformation, of a pivot, if like you know, what happened to you, keep saying your name wrong, it's Ania, is huge this year. You know, like you could have resisted that, you could have fought against that, but it was happening for you. It's all happening for you. So let go, relax, believe, you know, and that was the biggest learning. So yeah, hope that's helpful.
I love that. Yeah, sometimes the universe tests us in a way where we're forced to stop and pull back. I have a really powerful meditation that I have inside my abundance vortex, which is I slow down to speed back up. We push ourselves so much because so many people demand things from us. Oh, my kids need to do this. Oh, my business needs this. I need to do this. I need to do this. And we have this crazy list, long things of things we need to do. But how are we honoring ourselves? How are we slowing down for ourselves? I slow down to speed back up. Sometimes we need to take that step back so we could sprint forward. We need to honor that. If our bodies are tired, rest. If your body's telling you you need to sleep or cry in bed or do whatever, do it. Allow these emotions to flow through you. Stop when you need to stop, go when you need to go, and start when you need to start. I have 2 more questions that came up. Does anyone else have any question? Kaz, would you like to go on a video on camera and ask your question?
Sure. Is it working?
Yes.
Sound? Okay, great. I'm gonna go for David. But first I want to say totally much love to all of you, and it's so good to see so many empowered women. I totally love it. Okay, David, I was asking a little bit before when you had your session, and it was about remembering something that you wanted, that feeling, and I got some blocks there, because the only thing I remember was when I was a little kid, and I really wanted some kind of video game, and to Christmas, and I was up and you know, doing the measurement of the packets and things like that, and checking in the catalog, and yes, I got it, and that was the only one. But at the same time, my block is that I really don't want to be having that memory, because I think it's a little bit materialistic, or how to say, and I would really like to tap into more a more, what could I say, kind of a life memory with someone or somebody. And I was wondering then if you could have some guidance on that. You're muted.
Yeah, sure, of course, Kaz. A great question. So I guess I would ask you, what is another thing that you longed for, that you wanted to receive, that it did end up coming to pass, that came to fruition in your life, such as, and I'll just list a bunch of random things, but like whether it was someone that you, even if you're not with them now, maybe a partner or someone that you were in love with, perhaps it was a child or an educational degree, or you wanted to go to a certain concert or an event, or anything that just lit you up inside. Like what's the first thing that comes to your mind after that video game, of course?
That's the problem, because really, am I still, is the sound still on? Yeah, okay, because literally most what I want is things that I don't want. So I maybe don't want somebody to nag on me, or I don't want to have the pressure to go up at work at 6 o'clock in the mornings and things like that. So I think it has clouded my mind a little bit, that I'm more focused on what I don't want, and when I possibly get released from them.
Sure. But what about in the past, something that you did want? Could be any time in the past where it was just a great feeling after you actually received it or got to experience whatever it was. Anything come to mind?
Probably when I was super young and just sitting under a tree and smelling the flowers, I guess. The harmony, actually. That's what I want. I want harmony.
Yeah. And so then I would say, what was a time in your life when you experienced that? And it sounds like you did. You were sitting under a tree smelling flowers. Is that what you were saying?
Yeah.
Yeah. So then I would say, okay, great. Go back to that place in your mind's eye. You could do this on your own, and just then try to envision every single little detail, from the breeze that's blowing to the leaves that you see overhead, to the flower that you see in front of you, and smell it, and then go, what did I feel? What did I feel in that moment? Right? And it said you felt harmony, you felt peace, you felt in a solid place, right? Is that right?
Yeah, something like that. And also when you say this, it kind of connects me to when you're a kid, you really just are, and I think that's what I want.
Yeah. That's
just
great.
To be.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful. So I would then go back to not only that experience under the tree, I'd start with that one and really get to that place and really feel it. And maybe even would help you feel it is going to a place now where there's a tree that you really like, where there are certain flowers, and go to that place and just sit and feel the breeze and take that in, right? Because that's that sense of harmony, that's that sense of peace, that sense of just being that you long to experience. And just feel it in that place, and then say, okay, where do I feel that in my body? Is it in my heart? Is it my stomach, solar plexus, right? Where do I feel it? And just drink it in. And then even in that moment, I would do the eye movement that we shared, and even the singing of the ABCs, maybe to yourself right underneath that tree, and lock in that feeling of just bliss, that feeling of safety, that feeling of just being. And then that's that feeling that you can go back to begin manifesting all those things that you want. And as you mentioned, unfortunately, if you're saying that you don't want something, you're probably attracting the very thing that you don't want.
I know it's the shadow side, probably.
Yeah.
I know.
So then it's like, hopefully you're catching yourself, you're going, oh, I'm catching myself. And then, right, just tweak it and then go back to, it sounds silly, but singing those ABCs and just feeling that sense of radiant euphoria, right? That you're feeling under the trees. So I would encourage you, your action step, Kaz, is to go find a tree.
3 meters outside, so no problem. I can
That's
find
good.
it.
That's good.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
And take care. All
Good
of
to meet you.
Of course.
Thank you for that. That was one of the questions that popped in. The last one I have for Nathan before we move on to Nathan's last question. Does anyone else watching on live have any questions they'd like to turn their cameras on and ask in person. All of the speakers are here, other than Kate. She had to pop off. She had a coaching meeting. It is 444 alignment numbers. Anyone else would like to hop on really quickly? All right. The last question for Nathan. What does every New Earth leader need to know right now more than ever?
Oh, yeah. This is going to be a good one because it's really quite simple. And that we don't have to do things alone. Right? We can ask for help. We can surrender whatever vision or idea of the thing that we were going to do. And we can let that dissolve to allow the opportunities that are truly aligned to come forward and show themselves. You know, the whole theme around these last few days has been quantum, and, you know, to access the quantum, it requires trust. And it requires us to surrender whatever three-dimensional identity or role that we had before this moment, to really see the possibility of what's available. And we can ask for help. We can lean on others. We can support other people. We can contribute back to community. And that will bring us back into alignment. That will help us walk each other home. And I feel like that's a thing that we as leaders, and just to preface, everyone's a leader in their own ways, right? Parents, people who you meet in passing, you have an opportunity to lead by picking up trash on the side of the street, to be a leader of society. It's small things like that. And we're able to lead from the heart, really. And that's really important. It's really important that, especially on this path, anyone in this work, banging our fucking heads on the wall, realizing there's another level to the video game. That's when we ask for help. That's when we ask for help, right? Because we're no good to anyone if we're bleeding from our forehead and out the ears and we're not able to listen to what spirit has for us.
And this is all what Xpansion Alchemy is all about, us coming together as a community so we can all grow together. Part of my living in the quantum over these last couple of months has been fully surrendering. When all the craziness has been going on in my life, I had no idea what the heck I was doing. I surrendered to the unknown, trusted in the unknown. And that's when I finally started asking for help. For the first time in my life, I surrendered and asked for help. And when I did, boy, was that magic freaking magical. The people that came to me, the support that came to me, the ideas, the thoughts, the quantum, all that. Xpansion Alchemy was built, given to me, channeled to me, working in the quantum because I surrendered and I asked for help. Otherwise, we wouldn't be here today having this talk, having this exact conversation. So I thank you all. Ask for help, surrender, lead with the heart, and open yourself to the possibilities of the quantum, because when you do, magic will start coming into your life. Absolute pure magic. Do any of the other teachers have any final thoughts, comments, concerns?
I just wanted to speak on that because when the first time we ever spoke, we'd been in the Women Gone Wild book together, but we hadn't had a conversation, and we were just jumping on. It was like, yeah, let's just connect. Who are we? Let's have a conversation. And you were right in the middle of it. You were right in the middle of, and you didn't know me at all. And I was like, hey, how you going? And you're like, sure, why not? It was actually really fascinating to watch because you had this whole internal conversation happening. And you was like, yeah, sure, why not? Okay, I will. Fine, I will. Why not? Okay, why not? And then you just divulged. You're like, well, this has happened, and this has happened, and this is the first time I've met you. And I'm like, okay, cool. Yeah, and then from that, we're like, had this great conversation, and all of this magic was like, it's like these moments where we just surrender into the unknown of, okay, and I don't even know who you are, but yeah, I'm gonna just say it anyway.
trust, surrender, and ask for help. You will be surprised at the people the universe throws your way, but they are all meant to be part of your path and part of your journey. I am so grateful that Genevieve and I had this conversation. It was really funny. Like, we're getting on a Zoom call. We're like, yeah, so tell me what do you do? We're connecting. And I'm like, my life is in shambles right now. Yeah, why not? I'll tell you everything. Screw it. It was great. It was great. Thank you. I honor you. I love you. Anyone else? Any other teachers? Any final thoughts, comments, concerns before we wrap up for today?
Ania, I would just say from all that you've put together, my goodness, like you've just crushed it. Like you have had not only an incredible vision, but just the ability to put all this together. I know what that takes. We all know what that takes. And so congratulations on just all the hard work, and just, I know this is just the beginning, but may I speak on behalf of everyone to say great job, wonderful job. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, all of the teachers. Thank you, everyone who has been on the live. Thank you, everyone who's been on Facebook watching the replays, all the craziness that's going on in that horizon. I honor you all. I thank you all. Without all of you, I would not be here. Our teachers wouldn't be here. This community wouldn't be here. Expansion Alchemy wouldn't be here. So I honor you and I love you all. Make sure you're going back to the person that invited you to this Quantum Maxima, getting their links, and sign up for Expansion Alchemy, because it is only the beginning, and we are about to expand and go on this journey together. And when your life does get in shambles, you have the community and the support to be like, wow, this is what's going on in my life. You don't have to do it alone. We all are in this together, and we all want to hold you and coddle you, essentially. When that happens, we're going to hold you. We're going to support you. All the beautiful divine masculine, all the beautiful divine feminine that we have here will hold you and support you. So cheers to your expansion. Join Expansion Alchemy. Thank you all for a beautiful event. I honor you all.